Hold on. Before you press submit on that Truist application, I need you to listen carefully. Because if you're looking for high limit funding with them, just like these other business owners get, then you're going to need these data points. And that's what I'm going to provide you with. Because in today's lesson, we're going to break down the step-by-step and some updated data points for you so you could be successful in getting capital with Truist Bank. So what I want you to do is go grab your pen and paper. And without further ado, let's dive in. All right, ladies and gents, business owners, whoever's really watching this, I just really want to give you some more in-depth of a breakdown with Truist Bank, as well as some updated data points, because if you're trying to utilize them, whether it's now, going into the new year, anything of that nature, you are going to need these points and step-by-step frames right here. Because I've been seeing a lot of people getting approved, but I've also been seeing a lot of people get denied. And I've also seen people get relatively low limits. My case being included, and I'll tell you about that later on in the video. But I really just want to make sure that anytime there's any hiccups or anything that I encounter, I always try to give you guys, try to help you out, just going forward from here. So really just try to utilize this video as kind of like a guide, but you always want to do your due diligence and really have your homework ready as well. But let's go ahead and start in the beginning. As far as with Truist Bank, understand that it's not everywhere, okay? That's why some of you really get denied, because it's not even in your backyard. Truist has a regional footprint, and mostly in the southeast and mid-Atlantic states. So that means that the branches are probably like, 17 states, and also if you add Washington, D.C. So that means if they're outside of your zone, outside of your area, jurisdiction, whatever you want to call it, that's probably why you won't be able to open an account or get approved for business funding directly through them, okay? That's part of the reason. And this is just the first step. So you have to check to see if Truist is even in your territory by using online branch locators, okay? You can easily do that. Go to google.com and try to figure it out. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, I could do a foreign entity filing and, I could possibly get around this and then I can get with Truist. Yes, you definitely can. But let me give you a little breakdown of foreign entity filings, okay? I'm not saying all banks and lenders and credit unions, but some of them are starting to crack down on them. Some of them are not really approving foreign entity filings, and Truist in some areas are not doing that. How do I know? I try to get two of my clients, foreign entity filing with Truist. They wasn't accepting it. So just want to give you that information as far as there. And if you don't know what a foreign entity filing is, a foreign entity filing is basically if you're in, New York and you want to do business with a credit union or bank or any other type of business in Florida, all right, you do a foreign entity filing so it doesn't show all the way that your business is just aligned in New York. You have it also in Florida as well. So then you'll be able to do certain business that you wouldn't be able to do if you didn't do a foreign entity filing. Does that make sense? But even with that, don't do it right now. Because Truist is starting to tighten up their compliance and ask way more questions, along with other banks as well. So before you execute or do anything, again, I just want to reiterate, just do your homework, okay? Make sure that your business is truly set up and it aligns with their policies. I'm not going to go over the policies right here. You can do that. You can read that. Hence, do your homework. All right, so you found out Truist was in your area? Great, cool, that's awesome. So now we can go into step 2, which is how to get approved with them. Understand that the personal and business side are totally two separate entities. With the personal side, you can get sometimes a little leeway, but with the business side, they're way more tighter than what they normally have been. So let's get into the actual way of getting approved. First, you are going to need a 700 credit score or higher, okay? Specifically with Equifax. All right, that's just the bare minimum. Have I seen people get approved with 670s, 680s, 690s? Yes, but I don't want them to make an example out of you and deny you, so I just say go for the bare minimum, go for broke, have a 700 or better. All right, and you also want to keep your utilization below 10%. I know I reiterate this and stress this all the time. People be thinking, hey, I could have it at 30%, 25%. Yeah, that's great. But for optimal and to maximize your situation, you want to have it at 10% or lower. So you're going to have to clean up some of that debt that you have on the personal side, no matter how you twist and turn it. Because this is going to show the banks that you're not maxing out your credit cards and irresponsibly using consumer debt, roughly on the personal side, okay? So if you clean this up and you get it below 10%, I would say kind of give you a little leeway, even if it was like 15%, all right? Even if it's 15% or lower, I would say you're doing your due diligence, you're doing the just that you need to do. But if you have anything higher than that, then you're showing banks that you're possibly fishing for credit or you're desperate and you're trying to utilize their credit cards to pay off your personal. They don't need to see all that. They don't need to double think. They don't need to triple think. Hey, are they going to do this? Are they not going to do this? You don't want to give them any room to think the worst, okay? So Clean up your utilization. And the next thing that you need to make sure that you do is that you have a clean credit report, okay? It doesn't matter about your score right now, it's about your report. So that means that you have no late payments, no collections, no bankruptcies. Guys, it does not matter. I don't care if that collection is paid off, that charge off is paid off, is zero. I don't care if that bankruptcy or that late payment has been there for 15 years. It still needs to come off because they're going to utilize that to try to deny you. So don't give them any room, just like I said in the beginning. Because even if your score looks good, those negatives will still get you denied extremely fast. Do you want that? No. So just try to remove it. So you can either utilize me by clicking the link below and I would help you, or you can try to do it yourself. The choice is yours. Now, the next thing that we need to talk about is comparable credit. And comparable credit is starting to really be in the driver's seat nowadays, is because, again, your score it's secondary, okay? So you need to make sure that your credit history already shows that you can handle decent size limits, okay? So that means if your highest credit card that you've ever had is $1,000, you can't always expect them to hand you $50,000. Now, have I seen this before where people have $1,000 limits and still get super high limits on the business side? Yes, but there are certain comparables that you're going to need. You're going to need a business private relationship. You're going to need a business relationship manager. You're going to need a bunch of different factors to really help you in your favor. But it's just you just being out there by yourself, and you think that you're going to apply and get $55,000, $100,000, which is extremely hard to do with Truist. You've already lost. And the reason why that I say this is because if you don't have any inside relationships, as far as banking relationship, underwriters, all of these type of factors that can really help you get approvals of high limits, that relationship is really going to have to be the front runner, as well as your credit report, as well as the comparable credit, as well as the great scores. You see where I'm going with this, business owner? So you're going to have to make sure all of your ducks are in a row. And how to really establish that good relationship with them is just start out by just getting a checking account with them, a business checking account. If you show that you getting a business checking account with them, it sometimes makes them feel like you're not just going to get whatever you're going to get with them and then just leave. Even if you are. Because banks want to trust you, especially Truist. If your report tells a story of discipline, responsibility, and low risk, you're more likely to win with Truist and get the capital. So if you do all this, you won't have any issues moving forward, okay? Now, getting back into the relationship, that is going to be step 3, which is building that relationship with Truist, okay? And that means opening up a simple business checking account. No, seriously, that's what it's called, the simple business checking account. Now, you don't need to open up 3 accounts or get fancy with it, or the super business savings or the merchant services, unless it makes sense for your business. Now, if you're just trying to build them internal data points, then cool. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to do that. Just that one checking account is enough to get your foot in the door. Trust me. Next, start with using real business transactions, okay? So that means if you have to pay certain things on the business side, go ahead and do that. And the next thing is start getting some deposits going, pay some vendors, transfer money in between accounts. This is going to build what is called, again, like I said earlier, internal data points. So it's going to show activity, history, and legitimacy. And over time, usually about 90 to 120 days, that relationship starts working in your favor. All right, that's all you have to do. Now, once you have that relationship established with Truist, especially if you're doing this yourself, 90, 120 days, if you're utilizing a relationship manager on the inside or anything like that, especially mine, you can kind of get it done way faster than that. But again, this is just surface level if you're just using it and doing this yourself. Once you have that done, this is when we can go into the next step, which is the updated data points when it comes to Truist. Now, with the updated data points, I want to tell you that sometimes your limits can get randomly capped, okay? And here's something new that I want to share with you. I had a client recently who had already had a Truist business credit card and was already approved for $14,000 before I ever even got involved with them. They said they wanted more from Truist, and I said, okay, great. Let's go ahead and move forward with this. And once I started getting everything going with them, my rep started saying, I'm not sure if we can actually get him approved for a lot since he already has $14,000 on the business side. And he's already kind of been using it, but we could try to run him through to see if we could possibly get him anything else. I said, cool, fine, no problem. Let's go ahead and do that. So we did everything that we were supposed to do. We basically set the table for him. We got all the blueprints, everything right. And later on, when he applied through my relationship manager, you would think that, the limit would go up, or, his new credit card would be extremely higher. No, not at all. The new card approval came back and he was only approved for $2,900. a complete bummer for him. He was very upset. Even I was upset at the same time, but for some reason my relationship manager wasn't upset. And again, it made sense for what she told me, because she told me that they already had the card, they've been using the card, and the system may cap them on a reapproval, which is crazy because a lot of other institutions don't do that. So even though the client was solid, had awesome credit report, awesome credit scores, the system looked at it as a potential risk. So that is heads up for you. Don't assume that just because you have a high limit before that you can automatically sometimes do it again with certain banks, okay? This bank might limit you, but the next bank might not. Chase might not. Amex might not. KeyBank might not. But it's something to understand and to keep in mind when you're going for all of these, credit stacking, loan stack, whatever you're doing, especially on your own, okay? And I just wanted to show you this to show that sometimes even with, connections, it can sometimes not always work out in your favor. But luckily for that client, he still wants to continue to keep going. We're going to get him way, way more funding. But I just want to give you that updated data point. Now, with all the information right there, with the updated data point, I just want to say, let's go ahead and wrap up this action plan. So number one, you need to make sure that Truist is in your backyard, okay? Make sure it's there. The second thing I need you to understand is clean up your report. Please clean up your credit score, clean up your credit report, low utilization, no negatives. I don't care what we're talking about, and strong credit history. The next thing I need you to do is open the simple business checking account, start running transactions through it, get some deposits, move some money around, give it at least 3 to 4 months. And then I feel that you can be ready, or you can utilize me and get connected with my relationship manager so we can help you apply strategically. And the last thing, if you've already have a Truist credit card, I just think that you should think twice before reapplying. I'm not saying this is going to happen for everybody, but you might get capped, okay? So make sure you be smart about your moves. No matter what anybody says, no matter what I say, please make sure that you utilize this information to the best of your ability so you can always get the approvals that you want. Now, if you want to go after Truist Capital, but you don't have the internal, relationships with them, or even the relationship, the credit profile is too thin, banking profile too thin, or even just the confidence to do it alone, don't worry, I got you. Because what I want you to do right now is click the link below to schedule your capital consultation with us. We're going to walk you through personally how we can help you with the process specifically for your file, position you with Truist and all these other banking sequences so you can access over $150,000 to even $300,000 in capital. So again, what I want you to do is click the link below so we can help you get to that point so you can either start or scale your business. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I really hope this helps one of you guys, and I really hope that you utilize and maximize the information that I gave you so you can go ahead and get high limits, not only with Truist, but any other bank you're going to utilize in the future to start and scale your business. Again, I want to thank you guys for stopping by, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen.